Okay. What's going on, good people? How we doing? How's everybody doing? Let me get this set up the right way. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good start to their weekend. Hopefully everybody had a good day. But before we get started, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Let me know if you're good. And we ready to talk about some things, man. Giants did some things this week. Added a defensive lineman, not who we expected. But we got a defensive lineman. A couple of pro days today that we got to highlight. Ohio State being one of those guys, one of those teams, I should say. But yeah, I'm having a good day today. I couldn't wait to talk to family, like we always say. New York Giants family reunion every Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Late night Giants talk. Was good, everybody. Let me do a quick roll call. Everybody, give me just a moment. OKC Don always in the building early. He says, I'm torn between, and I think he said he meant to say two, but we're going to talk about at the Big Dash New York Giants family reunion. That's a fact, OKC. Seti in the building. What's going on, Seti? Said, appreciate you, Big Dash. I appreciate you, Seti. I appreciate you for tuning in. He says, I wonder what Tway is doing. Oh, TP? You talking about TP Way? I think he joined the Army. So I reached out to TP. I didn't get a response back. Sometimes when you're in training like that, they got locked down. They can't they can't talk to certain people. So if it's not in immediate family, so but I did reach out to TP. Didn't get a chance to hear back from him. But as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know. But as soon as I do too, you're probably going to see him as well. Miguel says, greeting, good sir. Greetings, Miguel. How you doing tonight, man? He says, love at 5, trade Tracy 4. You starting already, man. Miguel, you starting already, man. Can we get through the introduction before we start about this love thing? That's one of the topics too. Money Mike in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Deb said, good evening, G fans. Oh, for those that don't know, the Facebook channel is up and running now. I finally hit 100 followers on Facebook, so they actually let me go live on Facebook now. So you'll see this on Facebook and you'll see it on YouTube. We'll see it. We'll test those things out, see how it goes. But if you're not following the Big Dash Knows Facebook page, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Trying to build that platform up too. Don Devine says, I've been waiting on this too. I've been waiting on this too for sure. Spider Burns says, Yanks game and Giants talk. That's what it's all about, man. I should turn my TV on, throw the Yanks on too, but I gotta be able to concentrate. Marcus Gilmore says, it's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday, my fellow Aries. Happy birthday to you. He says, I've been looking forward to this video. Now, I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with me, man. On your birthday. Hopefully you had a good start to your birthday. It's your birthday weekend. So hopefully the birthday celebration goes into tomorrow as well. Isaac, what's going on? Kev, what's going on? Uncle G-Man, what's going on? Says, what's happening, Dash? You going to catch the Fundora fight tonight? I forgot about the Fundora fight. I will absolutely be catching that fight. Dave said, and then for those that don't know, my man G Nation Sports does leather to the face. If there's a fight tonight, he most likely is going live to cover that fight. So if he is, hopefully, you guys can tune in to my man G Nation. And also my man Wales, his co-host for that show. A lot of people showing Marcus some happy birthday love. Send Marcus a happy birthday for sure. James, what's going on? So what up, Dash? Downs, Delane, both of them. Both. I'm not discriminating. I'll take both of them. Defense is what I'm talking about. That's where I want to go. I want to go defense. C. Mully says, what up, Dash? I'm starting to think Tennessee might want Styles. They might take him, man. They might take him, and if they do, it's going to get interesting. It's already going to be interesting. I saw an interview with John Harbaugh. Said he's never picked this high, so maybe we don't trade out. Maybe we stick and pick. Period. So we'll see what happens with that. What else we got going on? Q Burrow, what's going on? Q Burrow says he says let's talk big blue football. Marlon Brando says take Sonny at 5. Give him an offer he can't refuse. Right? What's going on, Stacy? Can't stop Kev in the building. What's going on? Don Devine said Ryan Dunleavy was on the pod and said the defense is much better off than the offense. And almost listen. But respectfully though, when it comes to Ryan Dunleavy, he got a running back agenda. I don't know where he got it from, but I see it on Twitter. I see him every time he's on somebody else's channel. He is pushing this Jeremiah Love thing. Again, nothing against Jeremiah Love at all. But you see it with certain people pushing certain agendas. So it is what it is. But Ryan Dunleavy, we already know what it is when it comes to Jeremiah Love. He is pushing that agenda for sure. Got 90s Aura says, you think John would trade Trey Harris to John? No, that's not happening. He's not trading that young receiver. I don't think that happens at all. He just feel like it's not talked about. Harris was Dart's guy. Yeah, no, he was. And, good build. Trey Harris was actually Malik Neighbors' quarterback too in high school. It's funny. But yeah, fun fact right there. He was Malik Neighbors' quarterback in high school. But now I don't think they make that deal. I think they're going to sit still with wide receiver right now. I think they're happy with the moves they made in free agency, and then they're going to see what's going to happen in the draft. That's what I think is going to happen. What's going on, Arline? Aries gang for sure. Shout out to all the Aries out there. Hirsch for real. What's going on, Hirsch? Yeah, a lot of happy birthday wishes to my man Marcus. Yeah, happy birthday, Marcus. My man Mark Thompson in the building said, what's happening, Dash? 4 weeks. Yeah, we almost there. Speaking of that, this Wednesday, got a special edition. Late Night Giants Talk is going to be a big Dash draft talk. I got a guest, Gridiron Apex. We're going to talk about prospects. We're going to talk about what the New York Giants might do. If my man Dante is in the building, let it be known. But that's going to be Wednesday, 9 p.m. Big Dash draft talk with special guests, Gridiron Apex. So make sure you guys tune in for that. All draft talk for that one. All draft talk for that one. Bourbon Cigars Conversation says, let's take Styles for the number 5 pick, and for 37 pick, take Boston or Cooper. Boston might be there. I'm a big fan of Omar Cooper. I know he's more of a slot guy, so I don't know if he, is the pick for us. But I like Omar Cooper a lot. One of my favorite wide receivers in this draft for sure. Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. What's going on, Jorge? He says, salute, Dash. I need the draft to hurry up. I do too, bro. I do too. He said, I want to trade down to get either Ioane, Maui Noah, Delane. If we stay at 5, give me Styles or Downs. By the way, saw Harbaugh say today, Big Blue not done in free agency. I saw that too. I don't think it's going to be wide receiver. They got to address offensive line and defensive line still. Even though they picked up, what's the guy's name? Sam Roberts. I think it was Sam Roberts, the guy we picked up, defensive tackle. And we finally got a long snapper too. Man is older than me for the most part. But yeah, finally got a long snapper signed to the roster. See what happens with that. I wish we would have kept Casey Crater, but we'll see what happens. I believe I was watching BBI, I think it was earlier today, and they were talking about that long snapper, and he only had one game last year. 35 years old, had played in one game last year. I don't know what we're doing there. We could have kept Casey Crater for sure. Anthony Cherry, what's going on? He says, Big Dash, Sonny Styles numbers in 2024 was crazy. So I like Sonny Styles. Again, that was in 2024. That was his first year, actually like moving to linebacker, off-ball linebacker. And you saw the jump from 24 to 25. So just imagine how much better he's going to be as he develops, as a linebacker. He is not a finished product at all. Seemingly says, I think we're so used to needed new players each offseason. As a Giants fan, I don't see our defense as our strength. So yeah, let me talk about that really quickly. And shout out to everybody, man. But I got to start talking about this, right? So he said Ryan Dunleavy said that the defense was, and this is not even one of the things I wanted to talk about, but we got to talk about it, right? So Ryan Dunleavy said that our defense is way better off than the offense. And I would say, what is he talking about? Is he projecting with just the coaching changes that this offense is going to be? I'm sorry, that this defense is better off, or is it? I don't know how to explain that. To me, our defense is our biggest problem. Yes, we got holes on the offensive side, but all through last year, we didn't have problems scoring points. We had a problem stopping other teams from scoring points. So to me, that's just simple math. The problem is the defense. And I think that I will say this, though. If he means that, it'll take less to build up the defense, then maybe he might be right. A linebacker here, defensive tackle here, and then, possibly upgrade at safety, then maybe that's what he means. He might be projected. I didn't see what he said myself. But again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for right now. Side Guy Bride said it's all smoke. Downs at 5. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get to these topics, man. Let's get into these topics again. Shout out to everybody that's already joined. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not, and also give me the thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. So let the algorithm know that we in the building, and to let other Giants fans know that we in the building. But let's get to these talking points. Give me just a moment to pull up these talking points. And we got some things to talk about, man. And obviously we're going to get to what you guys are talking about as well with some of the chat topics, whatever you guys want to talk about. So here we go. Here we go. You see it. Somebody brought up Downs. The first topic on my list was Downs, Caleb Downs. So we found out that all of the bad knees talk about Caleb Downs is false, fabricated. Pat McAfee also addressed it, pretty much saying, they got the information from somewhere, and you know what, they don't want to give up the sources, but that's what they heard. Ended up being smoke, BS, and all that. So now, with that being said, and I see my man Side Guy Bride said all the smoke, Downs at 5. How do you guys feel about it? We kind of talked about that last week, but again, officially, we know that there's no issues with Caleb Downs' knee. Pro day, nobody ran the 40. We'll just say that because a lot of people say, why didn't they run the 40? Why didn't he run the 40? A lot of those Ohio State players did not run the 40 at the pro day. They did perform in drills. When I looked at Caleb Downs, I threw the clip up on the video that I put out. I believe that was Tuesday, Wednesday that I put out. He looks fine, moving like he's supposed to move. No issues with his knees that I can see, but I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play a doctor on TV. Shout out to Luann in the building. What's going on, Luann? Big Zoe said, what's your name on the book? It's Big Dash Knows. On all social media platforms, Big Dash Knows. That's what it is. Appreciate the love and support. Oh, man. We got Maurice says, thank you to my fellow Giants fans for the birthday wishes. Nah, man, you know what it is. It's a family reunion. You said it's your birthday. We're going to celebrate your birthday. I don't know if you pop bottles, but, pop a bottle. Or, whatever your drink of choice is. If you don't drink, whatever your juice of choice is. Or if you just drink water, go ahead, toast up. Marcus says, how does Ryan Dundork, talking about Dunleavy, have a beat writer job? Dude is delusional, very delusional. I'm not going to talk about that man in this job. You know what I mean? I'm still up and coming. I don't want to burn any bridges. What he said was wild about the defense, though. But I'm going to let you guys talk about him because we family. We could talk about him. Let y'all talk about him. Alonzo, shout out to Alonzo. Real G, what's going on? Says Dad's question, who is QB3 and what's the long-term plan? Probably Drew Aller. Drew Aller probably is QB3 in this draft. Yeah. Fernando Mendoza got the number 1 spot. You got Simpson. And then I'm gonna say Aller. Between Aller and Carson Beck, I would probably take Aller. Arm talent is through the roof. Carson Beck been in college for so long, man. He's already polished, high floor for him. I don't think he's trash. I don't like him that much, but I don't think he's trash. But yeah, that'd be my top 4. If Trinidad Chambers actually came out, I think he was probably the best quarterback in the draft. I liked him more than Fernando Mendoza, but for whatever reason, he wants to stay in college another year, maybe to get a bag. I don't know. Maybe somebody told him he wasn't going to get drafted high enough and he can make more money in college for another year. I don't know why he did that, but whoever told him that was wrong, because I think if Chambers came out, it would have been all the buzz would have been about Chambers for sure. Born for Sports says, imagine if Tyson and Banks fall to 37 due to injuries. Who do you take? If Tyson is at 37, I think you got to take him. I really do think you got to take him. If Tyson is there at 37 and falls that far, he didn't participate in the pro day. Shout out to Joe Shane and them that was out there for the ASU pro day. Cam Scadaboo was in the building at the pro day. But no, he didn't participate. Issues with his hamstring still. And for me, it just depends on how they feel about him. Easily to me could be the top wide receiver, in the draft, talent wise. And anybody that, if you really think about wide receivers that could be wide receiver ones coming out of the draft, he's probably the only one that I can say right now. Obviously, there'll be a surprise. There's always a surprise somewhere. But Jordan Tyson's very talented. Injury scared me, though. And that's why I wouldn't take him in the first. But if he's there at 37, that's good enough to take a chance, possibly. I don't know when Malik Neighbors is coming back and when he's going to be right mentally. So for me, I can't have my top 2 wide receivers both possibly being injury prone. I'm not going to say that Malik Neighbors is injury prone, but he is banged up often. Shout out to Dinkelberg 895 with the 499 super chat. He says, "What's up, Dash? Before any questions I have, I want to say you've inspired me to take action and start a channel." Oh, that's what's up, man. Are you a successful Black Giants content creator? And you said you are. I'm sorry, you are a successful Black Giants content creator. And I thank you for that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the love and support, man. I'm glad I was able to, be one of those people to inspire you to start your channel. And for anybody out there trying to start a channel, I know a lot of people have reached out to me talking about starting their own channel. Do it. Build this community up, man. Build this Giants content community up. We need it, man. I keep saying the same thing. I look around all of these other teams. I see how they build, their relationships within their fan base. And I think the Giants need to do the same thing. We see it. We're a lot more of a I should say the community is a lot more bonded than what it was previously, in my opinion. I'm seeing a lot of people going out there and collabing with other people. So I think that's a great thing. But we've seen this example with other fan bases where the content creators get together all the time and they create, content. And it's good, man. I think it's good for us. But, man, shout out to you. Best of luck to you. If you need anything, let me know. You already know what it is. Mega Giant says Caleb Downs is special. Yeah, I think so. And a lot of people, man, when it comes to Caleb Downs, man, a lot of people say, he doesn't have any elite traits. And I have to disagree with that, because when it comes to Caleb Downs, his elite trait is his football IQ. He's plenty athletic enough to go around and run around and make plays. We've seen that. And I hate the fact that the draft process is so long. These 4 months, you figure from the end of, February, but from the end of January when the season starts, or for college football season starts for a lot of these people outside of the people that are in the playoffs, college playoffs, it's about a 3 to 4 month process. You could say 2 month process, whatever. But there's no football being played, and we're even more critical of these players. Meanwhile, as soon as the season's ended, nobody was talking about Caleb Downs and his 40 time, and they weren't talking about that at all. Why? Because he was out there making plays consistently, not for 1 year, not for 2 years. As long as he's been in college, he made plays in Alabama, he made plays at Ohio State. But now that we go through this process, everybody's an analyst. I don't call myself an analyst, but sometimes we have that paralysis by analysis, and we start to overthink things. The last time you saw Caleb Downs play, what was he doing? Making plays. And every time you watched the Ohio State Buckeyes play, they were doing what? Especially on defense, they were making plays, and Caleb Downs was a big part of that. A big part of that. A lot of people saying, "Give me Downs." Stacey said he looked smooth in the clips. Yeah. He looked real smooth, no issues. Says Hirschfield says Styles already ran the 40 at the combine. Yeah. A lot of those guys that had a good performance, a good showing at the combine, didn't do anything on the pro day. You look at Jeremiah Love at the Notre Dame pro day. He didn't do a thing. He let the combine speak for itself. That was it. He said, "You guys saw my work. I'm not going to go out there and risk injury again when I put out, good times and athletic scores at the combine." And that's why I think a lot of people should participate in the combine more, because if you already set a standard at the combine, I was going to say, why do a pro day? But there's gifts and there's curses to that, pros and cons to that. Down seems pro ready. That's a fact. Bookend says down the Styles, either one. I hear you. What else you say? Thunder says, "I ain't mad if we pick Styles or Downs at 5. I'll keep saying it." No, I'm not mad either. Off Broadway, what's going on? So Caleb Downs' knee is good. We can stop talking about that. We kind of already talked about the Ohio State Pro Day. Again, we saw John Harbaugh talking to everybody, talking to Downs, talking to Reese, talking to Styles, talking to Tate. They talked about some 30 visits. A lot of those guys got 30 visits. I know Reese got a 30 visit. Styles got a 30. Reese got a 30 visit. Tate got a 30 visit. I don't know if Downs or Styles got that 30 visit yet, though. But I know those two for sure. Reese and Tate got 30 visits. Either they had that already or they got them scheduled. I got to check the Carfax on that. What's going on? He says, Big Dash G fan was good. Go big. Now, what's going on, Seth? How you doing, man? How you doing, man? How's that weather up there in the Mile High? How's the weather? Is it My More Hot Pockets? That's a hell of a name. He said, I don't want OBJ anywhere near this team. Fans need to stop hyping that old man up. First of all, I don't know who got you started with that. You came in hot, but we can talk about it. I don't want OBJ anywhere near this team. Fans need to stop hyping up that old man. It just depends on expectations. For me, and I said it on the G Nation show last night, when it comes to Odell Beckham, I don't have expectations on the field for Odell Beckham. If the New York Giants were to entertain bringing back Odell Beckham, do I think he can be on the 90-man roster going to training camp? Absolutely. When I look at the wide receiver room and I look at you trying to fill a 90-man roster, of course you could put OBJ on the 90-man roster. Now, as far as what you get from him, that's the question. That's the question, man. I put it in the chat. I ask you guys, like, what do you, if they were to entertain OBJ and he was to come back and be a part of the training camp with the 90-man roster, what's your chances you think he even makes the team? What is he asking for price-wise? It would have to be like a vet minimum. And is he willing to accept that he is in a part of his career where vet minimum is the right price for him? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens, though. Dingleberg with the $1.99 super chat says, first question is record prediction for next year. Come on. It's too early for that, man. This first, I'll put a range of wins. I'll say anywhere from 7 to 10 wins. I'll put it there as far as record prediction. But I don't know. I want to see the draft first, man. We got to address this defense. We got to address this offensive line. But just the coaching staff switch alone, bring a John Harbaugh in the building. I'm going 7 to 10 wins is the range for me. I do think we're going to be competitive, more competitive than we were last year with more competent coaching. But outside of that, it's way too early. It's way too early. Shout out to my man Tuto in the building with the $4.99 super chat. Says massive respects to Big Dash, New York Giants media legend. I wish. He says, how we doing? What's going on? You still in Jersey? Yeah. Greeting from all my fam in Princeton, New Jersey. Cheers, mate. Shout out to my man Tuto in the building. What's going on, man? I hope you enjoy this time you have in the States with the family in Jersey, getting some good food and all that. Well, I'm pretty sure you're in Italy. The food's good out there too. But something about New Jersey. Something about New Jersey and the food that I'm loving. Big Blue Reborn is in the building. What's going on? So let me tell you guys about Big Blue Reborn. If you're not familiar with these guys, man, up and coming Giants content creating channel. They do good work. They're consistent. They got a lot. They got the short game on fire right now. They out here doing the lives and all that. If you have not got a chance to check out Big Blue Reborn, they're on YouTube. They're also on Instagram. I'm pretty sure they probably on Twitter, and I know you guys are on TikTok too. So when you guys get a chance, man, make sure you guys go check out Big Blue Reborn, man. Those guys do good work over there. Happy Humble Hungry says we need a Dash and Fisk collab. Go holla at Fisk for me, man. Go holla at Fisk for me. Fisk might be live now. I don't know. I know he came back last week. I don't know if he's going live today. He got a partner. They brought back what I want to be respectful. What is it? The Outsiders. They brought back the Outsiders series that he does, and he got a new co-host. So shout out to Fisk, man. Shout out to my man Fisk. Nova, what's going on, Nova? He says Giants fans do a lot of infighting, especially on social media. You got to talk about it more. There's some back and forth for sure. There's some takes that some of us don't agree with, but we keep it respectful at the end of the day. Well, at least I know I try to. But yeah, there is something going on. There's some elbows getting brushed. But no fisticuffs, nothing like that. We keep it steady. But nah, it's definitely a lively bunch for sure. Thunder said wishful thinking. I like the third pick if we can get one. Oh, third round pick if we can get one, and another second round. I hope. I mean, in a trade back scenario, it just depends on who's there. Like the draft really starts at pick 2 with the Jets, and depending on what they do, they can throw a monkey wrench in the game and take Ty Simpson at 2. Do I think that happens? Maybe not. But that's when the draft really starts, unless the Raiders decide to throw a monkey wrench and not take Mendoza. And if they don't take Mendoza, that means the Jets definitely take Mendoza. But I don't see that happen. I think Fernando Mendoza is going to be, pick one like everybody else does. But let me know about the fighting over Nebula. Who you saw out here fighting, man? Because there's some, I tell you what, there's a lot of sneak dissing going on. I know that much. But we're going to keep it social, man. We're going to keep it moving and mind our business. You know how we do. Jers732, what's going on? Is Styles at five sounds like a no-brainer to me. It does to me too, man. But I got to be honest. The way people keep pushing the love thing, the way people keep talking about, you can't take. I'm still on the Styles thing too, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went somewhere else. But for me, I'm on the bus. I'm driving the bus when it comes to Styles at 5, and I'm not moving off of that. I'll be happy with Downs. I'll be happy with Noah. I'll be happy with Mansour Delane at 5. I'll be happy with a lot of these guys at 5. Tate, not really, but maybe Tate 2 at 5. But for me, I gotta address the defense, and that's going to be a topic we talk about later. Talk about offense and defense. Nova Nebula says Slayton will be the number 2 if he beats out Mooney. Now, the one thing about Slayton in the wide receiver room, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to give a lot of those guys a fair shot just to compete as far as where they fall in the wide receiver room as far as the depth chart goes. Obviously, Malik Neighbors is the number 1. I'm hoping, praying that he's available, for week 1, that he's good to go. But I think Slayton and Mooney, I think that's going to be a camp battle. If you ask me right now who's better, I'm going to go with Mooney. Slayton, I got PTSD when it comes to Slayton. Too many drop passes. I was the one last year, pushing for the whole let's see what Slayton can do type thing, and he let me down. So I can't even do it anymore. Big Blue Reborn says, I will be honest with you. I'm trading back and hoping Downs falls back to maybe 10. I would love that, because if we trade back to that spot, most likely we're getting an additional day 2 pick, whether it be a second rounder, which it should be, or a third rounder, depending on what the package is. I like that, man. I don't want to trade out of the top 10, but if I do trade out of the top 10, it better be a bag, man. It better be something worth it. Like something worth it for real. Thunder says Downs can fall back as far as 15, maybe. We've seen crazier things go down. Who was it? It was Daniel Jeremiah. I forget who he was talking to. Might have been on his own show. And they were talking about Caleb Downs, and then they were talking about other safeties that got drafted in the first round and how a lot of those guys fell. Talking about Hamilton from the Ravens. These guys get picked anywhere from 12 to the late teens, and then they said that who was it? Nick, the dude Nick from the Seahawks. Emin Wari was a second round pick, but he was like at the top of the second round too. But saying that just the value or positional value for safety just isn't there, and he said he can see him falling into that 10 to 20 range. And again, it just depends on what we do. Now, I think his talent, I think he's good enough football IQ to go at 5. But if you told me he fell to 16, 17, I wouldn't be surprised at that. They already dragged that man's name through the mud, talking about his needs when they didn't have the facts. Anthony Cherry says, Big Dash, Delane ran a 4.35 and a 4.38 Monday. Yeah, Delane is the real deal. Delane is the real deal. I'm starting to soften up a little bit, pause, on Delane at 5. Before it was all about, the linebacker with Sonny Styles and then Caleb Downs. But now Mansour Delane is one of those ones, lockdown corner for sure. And if you pick somebody like Mansour Delane, I believe he actually jumps in front of Paulson Adebo to me, fresh out of college. I don't know if that's saying a lot. I don't know if that's surprising people, but that's what I'm thinking right now. He's that talented. Cringy, Grinchy 9635. Yeah, I see the face of the Grinch on there. He says, "What's up, Big Dash? Love the streams. Nothing like having some za and vibing some New York football. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and your za. I'm glad you're able to mellow out and vibe with your za and talk New York Giants football, man. Shout out to you." Q Burrow says, "Love is a phenomenal running back, but that vertical in 40 by Styles was ridiculous. Get the kid." Man, again, to your point, Q, Love is phenomenal. I'm just looking at this team. I'm looking at this team and justifying taking a running back in 5 is hard for me. Is hard for me. I can't do it. A lot of people got no issues doing it. I can't do it, and more power to the people that can. And just to be clear too, when I say when I'm saying no to Love, Cam Scatterbull, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary does not stop you from drafting Jeremiah Love. Talent-wise, does not stop you from drafting Love. This defensive line, this linebacker room, the secondary, that's what stops me from drafting Love at 5. This offensive line, that's what stops me from drafting Love at 5. If we were a running back away, I'm running the card to the table myself for Love. But nah, I can't justify it myself looking at this defense. Swiss cheese, this defense is crazy. Got to fill those holes. Is it Vajiv Jr., Vajed, or Jed? Is the V silent? Let me know. 9584 says 305 in the building. Shout out to the 305. He said, maybe I'm late to the chat, but definitely brings championships. So we need to load up on defense. To me, that's a fact. And welcome, sir. Or ma'am. I can't tell now. But, welcome. Defense. Defense win championships. That's a fact. Is it no limit? No limit says, can you see them taking Tate with the 5th pick? I can't see it, man. I can't see it. Because at the end of the day, he's still a wide receiver too. Now, he might develop into something else. Actually, I'm not going to say that. You can absolutely take Tate at 5 if you believe in him. If the staff believes that he can be a pick worthy of the 5th pick, because I can't talk about 5th picks, because look what we had when we had pick 5. When we had 5 and 7, it was Tibbs and it was Neal. And if we could take Tibbs and Neal and, it is what it is when it comes to those guys, and I can't say we can't take Tate at 5. But me, I'm not taking Tate at 5, not anymore. And I was all on the Tate bandwagon early on, because it was all about getting a wide receiver 2 for Jackson Dart. And then as time goes by, again, paralysis by analysis, I'm leaning all defense. Shout out to Kalen. Says if Caleb Styles Reese are gone, would you consider Bain? Moving him inside to play the 4 or 5 tech next to Dex. Brother was like the LT. I like Bain a lot. Bain is on my short list. He's in my top 5 at 5 list too. I don't know how the transition would be as far as going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Even though you're talking about playing him at the 4 or 5, you can, mess around with the defensive front. That's something that we can do. If we were to get Bain, that would be fantastic, I think, because he can stop the run and rush the passer. I don't have an issue with his arms being shorter. Did you see the bend at the college day? Fantastic. Pause on that too. But yeah, I like Bain a lot. I wouldn't be against Bain, but I'm curious to see how he would fit the scheme. I don't know if he fits the scheme, but if you line him up at 4 or 5, you pretty much, messing with the front a little bit. It's not traditional if you're going to line them up that wide, and also if you're lining them up that wide, what are your outside linebackers for? So I don't know. I don't know if he fits the scheme, but we'll see. Appreciate the love and support. Two-Toe with the $9.99 super chat says, Big Dash, good food done us no good, no matter where, mate. He says, always strict diet and extreme discipline. We ain't got no days off. 6'5", 280. Hold on, Tuto. Hold on a second. 6'5", 285, 8% body fat. Hard work and extreme discipline always pays off, mate. First of all, stop showing off. 6'5", 285, 8% body fat. So let me know this. Did you wear a cape? Has Marvel called you? Has the Avengers hit your line and say, hey, we need another Avenger? Because that's ridiculous. 6'5", 285, 8% body fat, more power to you. That is a hell of a lot of discipline. Shout out to my man Tudo, though. Gutter says the Odell hate is crazy. I haven't been following, but I do see it. A lot of people just think he's done. I don't necessarily think he's done. It's just, but the way that I think about Odell Beckham is not, I guess, not the same way other people think of Odell Beckham. For me, I think of Odell Beckham as a veteran that is needed, because I do think he matured, and hopefully we're right about that. And when I look at his wide receiver room, you tell me who's the leader in the wide receiver room. Vocal leader, locker room leader, play on the field. I don't think he would be the play on the field type leader, but I think they need some type of guidance in that wide receiver room, so I wouldn't be against it for that. And some people laugh, like, what do you mean Odell Beckham as a leader? No, if you look at Odell Beckham, he's matured as far as a player. I don't know about his personal life, but as far as a player, he seems to have the right mindset. He seems to say the right things at the right time now. He's interested. And again, it's not going to cost you any money. Now, this is, again, it was Giants Rush that I saw Ryan Dunleavy. I remember now. And when they brought up Odell Beckham, he kind of laughed at it. He said, it would be an absolute spectacle. And the crazy thing about it is, when that comes from a beat writer, they're the ones that create the spectacles. Like, it's about what you report. So if Odell Beckham was to get signed and the beat writers treated it as a veteran coming in at a veteran minimum deal, or vet minimum deal, and got out of his way, then I think it would be cool. But we already saw a prominent beat writer for the New York Giants, already calling it a spectacle if it did happen, and the storyline would be this, that, and the third. And if you guys saw that on Giants Rush, I believe that was Monday or either Tuesday, it was kind of personal, and some things were said, and then he took some things back, and it's just like, and I was in the comment section crazy because, I got to keep it real. I put the full court press on anybody. I don't care. But when he started making some of those comments, I'm like, nah, come on now. And then things became clear why he felt the way that he felt. And it's like, okay, yeah, it is something else. And it's not just about football at the end of the day. But, beat writers are human too. Shout out to Off Broadway, says, if Styles is selected at 5, who is your second round pick? Keep up the good work. Now, I appreciate that. It's Lee Hunter. I'm going defensive tackle. If we go linebacker in the first round, give me the best defensive tackle in the second round. If we go anywhere else in the first round, still give me defensive tackle at 37. That's where I'm at right now. You might have you got the kid from Georgia that's there, Christian. You got Lee Hunter that might be there at 37. Give me those guys. That's where I'm going. I'm serious about this defense. When I talk about building this defense up, I mean that. And this, to me, the strength of this draft is on the defensive side. Once you get past some of those wide receivers, I think there's some hidden gems when it comes to the offensive line. But outside of that, this is a defensive draft to me. Quarterbacks ain't really quarterbacking. They ain't giving you too much. I said wide receivers, a little top heavy. Once you get out of the second and third round with wide receiver, it's slim pickings. Maybe a Ted Hurst makes it to the fourth round, a Malachi Fields. And then you got some more slot guys a little bit later, like a Kevin Coleman Jr. But outside of that, man, what's the kid from TCU? McAllister is another one that might be there in the fourth, should be there in the fourth. Jacoby Lane is my target, though, in the fourth round. If we don't address wide receiver to that point, which I don't think we'll do, if we don't take a wide receiver at 5, I don't think there's going to be a wide receiver that we take at 37 over some of those defensive tackles. But if we get into the fourth at pick 105, or in the fifth round we got pick 145, I really doubt a wide receiver lasts all the way there, unless they're like one of those surprise picks. But Jacoby Lane is somebody that I would target in the fourth. And I think his build, what he brings to the table, is similar to what Carnell Tate did, but just Carnell Tate had a bigger stage, bigger competition, and just had the lights were brighter for Ohio State. But Jacoby Lane is a nice consolation, respectfully, in the fourth round, if we were able to get him in the fourth to add to that wide receiver room. A lot of people showing Tudo some love in the building. My man Rev is in the building. What's going on, Rev? And the chat is going crazy. I promise you I'm going to get caught up. Shout out to Red with the $5 super chat. He says, "What's going on, fellas? I know we're talking ball, but I will ask everyone to remember brother TP in our prayers tonight." So, Rev, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show. Somebody else asked about TP, and we're also going to keep TP way in our prayers as well. Again, boot camp is no easy task, so hopefully he's over there doing this thing, doing what he got to do, and makes it through his boot camp and stuff like that. And again, if I hear something from him and I can share it with you guys, if he allows me to share it with you guys, then I will absolutely give him a shout out here, let everybody know that he's doing good. But I expect that he's doing good. I got to maybe my man Sneaky G got a chance to talk to him, but again, I reached out to him, man, probably about 2 weeks ago. I ain't heard back from him yet, though. He should be good, though. And again, I'll let you guys know once he reaches back out. Our name says Mooney is consistent. Yeah, he is more consistent than Slayton is right now. And it's crazy too, man, because for the people that were here last year and getting ready for the season last year with the whole Slayton, I was really fighting for Slayton, man. Really fighting for Slayton, and again, ended up being for nothing. But he's on the roster too. We didn't make a move. I don't think he's getting traded. I don't think there's a trade market for him. So I think we possibly stuck with him. And guess what? Just like in 2022, where people were down on Slayton to the point where even the coaching staff, the new regime didn't want to play him. They put him in there. He made plays. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe he got to feel. Maybe his back got to be against the wall for real. But I'm not even going to say that because I don't even want to get my hopes up or his at all. Luann, thank you for the update. 3-1 Yankees. Is the game over? Is the game over, or is that just the score right now? The way you saying Yankees, I'm assuming they won with all caps and the exclamation points. Jerry says, Dash, how we feeling about? Why are we doing this, man? You know how I feel about Hyatt now. You know how listen, I'll trade Hyatt for a pastrami sandwich from Cooper's right now. Right now. I trade Hyatt for a slice of Joe's Pizza in Vauxhall right now. I'll trade Hyatt for some East Coast Chinese food right now. Respectfully. I don't know what it's just so much fighting you can do for somebody. And all my fight for Hyatt is left the building. It's left the building for sure. Jamal Adams was the top 6 pick, or somebody don't like Styles, I'm assuming. Just think about a lot. There's always busts, no matter what the position is. Offensive line, linebackers, safeties, wide receivers. Everybody's a potential bust. Everybody. Anybody. You just got to hope the research is right. You got to hope that they, that the skill set makes it to the next level. But anybody could be a bust. But it's easy. I understand, because when we're sitting here and we have players that we like, and this is something that I don't like to do. And so when I say this about Love, I try to over-explain why I'm saying this about Love. It has nothing to do with the player. So we got to stop pinning players against each other, like especially if it's somebody that you favor. So I'm assuming that you don't like Downs at 5. I'm not saying you don't like Downs at all, but you don't like Downs at 5 because there's somebody else that you like more. And I get it. Thunder says a lot of holes to fill. That's a fact. Our name says Styles, Reese, Downs, Delaney, Love. Is that the order? In that order? I'm not mad at that. That actually, when it comes to Arvell Reese, it depends on where they playing him. If they're trying to make him a edge rusher, I got issues with that. Because we already got Abdul Carter, we already got Brian Burns. And even if we didn't have Kayvon Thibodeau anymore, if you pick up somebody like Reese that high, we talking about he got to get starter snaps. You got to get starter snaps. And I don't know how well that feels. Now, if you're talking about Reese being an off-ball linebacker, then I don't know if you're getting the best, or tapping into the top potential of Reese, if you're just making him off-ball linebacker. So I don't know, it's tricky when it comes to Arvell Reese. Tricky to me. Might not be tricky to other people. Nova Nebula says Tate is off the board for me. Currently doesn't make sense for the roster draft the receiver high next year. Well, next year will be the year for receivers for sure. Just depends on what we do. You figured Calvin Austin 1-year deal, Darnell Mooney 1-year deal. So at some point in time, you do have to address wide receiver in this draft, hopefully, just because you need the bodies, because these guys got 1-year deals. And who knows, if these guys are good, maybe you re-sign them. There's going to be some cap space. Even though we ate up a little bit of that cap space this year with some of the deals we had with these players, but there's still going to be a decent amount of cap space next year. But again, I want to build through the draft, keep the cap healthy, and keep the talent. As far as our depth chart and having the quality depth, I need that, man. We got to draft better, and hopefully John Harbaugh can do that. My man D Illa in the building. What's going on, D Illa? D Illa, you've been on a roll this week, man. You've been on a roll this week. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I saw the video video you did about love, and I was like, wait a minute, D Illa talking about me? Because man, I get where you're coming from with the whole love thing, man, for sure, 100%. And adding a talent like that to the room would be fantastic. And I agree with you. I agree with your point that Cam Scatterboo, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, none of those guys will stop you from drafting Jeremiah Love. And I don't know if you were here earlier because I made it a point too. But it's this defense that's stopping me from drafting Love at 5. That's what it is for me. But you've been on fire this week, bro. You've been on fire this week. Shout out to my man Dealer. If you're not subscribed to Dealer, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. If you're not watching this guy, he is on fire right now. He's been on fire too, man. And you know what's crazy? He do the shorts, man. He don't waste no time. He tell you exactly what's on his mind, and he get up out of there. Shout out to my man Dealer. Our name says Odell. Odell know neighbors. Odell and neighbors know each other. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's literally like wide receiver LSU. Them guys know each other, man. I don't. Again, I think that Odell Beckham could bring something that we're missing as far as leadership in the wide receiver room. Because just think about this right now. The veteran in the room is Darius Slayton. What is Darius Slayton telling anybody in that wide receiver room? Darius Slayton goes to somebody, hey, you know what? Think about doing this on the route when you get to the top of your route, dude. Nobody's listening to Darius Slayton. Why? Because he has not proven anything respectfully on the field. So even if you get somebody like Odell Beckham in the room, he can be the 5th wide receiver on the roster. But if Odell Beckham is talking to Malik Neighbors and say, hey, at the top of your route, blase, blah, do this, they're probably going to listen. Calvin Austin is going to listen. Darnell Mooney is going to listen just because it's Odell freaking Beckham. And I think we're lacking leadership in the wide receiver room. And you know how Malik Neighbors can get. Let's be honest, right? We family. We can talk about family as family. We don't let outside people talk about family, but when we're amongst family, we can we can have these type of discussions, right? We already know how Malik Neighbors is. You know he can get into his feelings a little bit. Who is talking to Malik Neighbors outside of John Harbaugh? But I don't want John Harbaugh coming off, going to the bench to have to get Malik Neighbors in check. No. If we got somebody in the room that is respected, because at the end of the day, if anything, as far as players go, Odell Beckham is still respected when it comes to other wide receivers in the NFL and around the world, pretty much. I still think his voice holds weight and people listen. But, we'll see what happens, man. If you ask me right now if I think it's going to happen, I don't think it happens, though, with Odell Beckham. I don't think it happens. D Knowles with the $5 super chases. I want to go defense, man, but I also want to support Dart's passing development. Losing Wan'Dale kind of hurts. Just think about it like this, D Knowles. Wan'Dale Robinson was a 5'8" slot receiver. Now Jackson Dart has a 6'3", 240-pound slot receiver in Isaiah Likely. So all those targets Wan'Dale was getting, I'm assuming those are going to go to Isaiah Likely. Yeah. Remember some of those passes too. Wan'Dale Robinson had to jump out the gym to get some of these, to make some of these catches just because of his stature. It's probably going to be right on point for Isaiah Likely. They just got to build chemistry, and hopefully those guys are working together already because they can do that, away from the team. And hopefully, Jackson Dart, we'll see the videos. We know he's working out right now, but hopefully some of those receivers and some of those, tight ends, look for Jackson Dart and say, hey, I want to be where you're at right now. Let's build some chemistry. And it might be happening right now. We don't know. Shout out to Town in the building. He says defense heavy first 2 rounds. For me, I'm going defense first 2 rounds. That's where I'm at right now. You guys already know what it is. It's defense all day for me. I hate that I really do hate that we don't have a 3rd round pick. A 3rd round pick in this draft with these prospects is gold right now to me, and we don't have one. And I understand people say, trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a 3rd round pick. I don't want to create any more holes either. The money got to make sense when it comes to Kayvon. But think about this too, man. Because everybody say, oh, Kayvon Thibodeau's making $14 million on a 5th-year option. That money's already spent. That money's already gone for the most part. As far as, calculations to the cap, the math, that money's already spent. You can literally just leave Kayvon Thibodeau alone. It's a contract year. You're probably going to get the best out of Kayvon Thibodeau in a contract year. Just keep him on the roster. Just keep him on the roster. Because what happens? You trade Kayvon Thibodeau, and what happens? You get a 3rd round pick. What you're going to be looking for? A rotational edge rusher, most likely. So I'm with the camp now, but I can understand if you trade Kayvon Thibodeau, but for me, I'm not rushing to trade Kayvon Thibodeau anymore. I understand it sounds good. You get a 3rd round pick. I don't know who that 3rd round pick is going to be. It could be, though. It could be Keelan Rutledge, though. And if it's somebody like Keelan Rutledge, if we continue to go all the way to the draft without addressing the right guard spot, Keelan Rutledge is high on my list too, as far as guys that I want in New York Giants blue. Shout out to my man KC Legit in the building. What's going on? David Bourne in the building. What's going on? He says it's being reported by Marshall that we're about to make another wave of moves, hopefully to shore up the lines. Harbaugh stated. Yeah, I saw. I think he put out that video today. Marshall Green with Giants Chat. Shout out to those guys over there. And he did it. Same interview that I watched when they said they're not done making moves. I believe it when I see it. There's certain. I saw Shelby Harris come in for a visit, take pictures. In East Rutherford, and then I didn't hear anything else after that. And then Shelby Harris is like the last of the last people as far as defensive tackles go. Then I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Let's go ahead and let's try to get this guy signed. And it didn't happen. Yet. Thunder says 4th round Jacoby Lane. Yeah. Did you say that before I said it? Because like I said, I'm way behind right now. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? And I do apologize. I'm going all the way to the bottom of the chat to get caught up. Wait a minute. I got to see my man Dealer, though. He says, sure, we need other wide receiver options, but I'd rather have another body at cornerback, DT, right guard, another linebacker, even if it's a 6th, 7th round pick at those positions. The potential is at least there over Odell. What Odell got to do with draft picks, though? Unless it's a part of another discussion that I missed. But I'm going to the bottom just to get caught up again. I do apologize. I'm 14 minutes behind the chat, and I got to make those moves. Dealer says, wouldn't say anything negative about you. I'm not saying you said anything negative about me. I'm just saying the subjects, just the subject, because I've been going crazy about Jeremiah Love. And for me, I think I've been probably maybe the most vocal when it comes to not wanting Love at 5. I've seen other people talk about Love, and they're like, yeah, I'm open to it. I'm not. But now I like the points you made too. I think I'm caught up. Hold on, let me see if I'm caught up. Styles. What's going on, Mr. Handsome? How you doing? Douglas Wright says, cut quarter restructure Slayton, cut Hyatt straight out. Drop Bo, sign OBJ, draft Bryce Lance. In 2024, OBJ had just about the same amount of yardage combined. Restructure Slayton. You probably save some money if you restructure Slayton, but are you just trying to get rid of him? Are you trying to kick the can down the road? I think Hyatt is gone. Bo Collins probably makes the practice squad. Bryce Lance is sneaky. Bryce Lance is sneaky out of North Dakota State. Younger brother of Trey Lance. The size that you're looking for when it comes to a wide receiver. Red zone threat, catch the ball, explosive. Not too bad when it comes to gadget plays as well too. I like Bryce Lance. I think I saw him. It was like one of those games I watched at Bryce Lance. He took like the first play of the game. It was like an end around that he took to the house. Crazy. But Bryce Lance is intriguing, and he should be around in the fourth round. I think he'll be available at that time. Ace Boogie, what's going on? It's just breaking news. New York Giants have agreed to trade the number 5 overall pick in the draft to the Denver Broncos. Giants receive running back Tyler Batty, pick 62, second round this draft in the 2020. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. All right, Ace Boogie. Gangster says OBJ, and then he says, hell nah. What's going on, Coach Ward? Does anyone know the defensive lineman names for the Ravens? Exactly. We're going to grab a lunch pail. We'll grab lunch pail guys that do a job, i.e. run stoppers, not glorious names, but the answers. Now, listen, just look at some of the players. The guy they picked up was, I forget, Sam Roberts. I don't know who Sam Roberts is at all. I Googled him, and then I looked him up on PFF. His grades are pretty good, but he only played in like 5 games last year. He had like 18 tackles in 5 games, so that's pretty good for a defensive tackle. He had a couple QB pressures. I can't remember his sack total or not, but he had grades in like the 80s, so I'm assuming the more he plays, the more production he'll get, but I don't know who that guy is. But to your point, you're absolutely right. The way that John Harbaugh is doing this is he's looking for quality and not names. He's looking to fill positions. So if he's like, hey, I need a run-stopping defensive tackle that can play next to Dexter Lawrence. Go find me that guy. It's not, let me find the biggest name or the most notable name. And again, I fall victim to that too. I'm guilty of doing that. I'm looking for the big name, but then I'm also looking no. John Harbaugh knows what he's doing. People got roles. Sometimes a defensive tackle's job is to keep the guard from getting to the linebacker. There's no glory in that. It gets the job done. That's a role. So now I understand. You need people that fit the scheme. Aggressive defense. Keep the linemen off your linebacker so they can run freely and make plays. It's not just about defense. Some people, I don't know. I don't know everybody's football acumen. But for defensive tackles, like literally, when I was growing up, when I played the defensive tackle, I played linebacker. The defensive tackle is a linebacker's best friend. Gap integrity. Keep the guard from getting to me so I can move freely. Make my read, get to the ball carrier. That was it. In occasions, a defensive tackle make a fantastic play, shrug somebody, and get to the quarterback themselves. And then now you see it now. You got guys like, all the famous superstar defensive tackles. Not everybody plays that way. It's a kid from Texas, Cole Brevard, defensive tackle from Texas. Go watch Cole Brevard play. He'd be a linebacker's best friend. All he does is hold up offensive linemen. The center guard, he'd take both of them, hold them up, let his linebackers run freely. And guess what? When you think about the freaking Longhorns this year, one of the top prospects for linebackers, Anthony Hill. Guess who's helping out Anthony Hill? Somebody like Cole Brevard, who doesn't get any of the glory, but is out there doing his job so that Anthony Hill can do his, and whoever else needs to make plays on that second level. So we appreciate guys like that. Ian Campbell, what's going on? Uncle G-Man says, I don't see any point in picking Love. Makes 0 sense to me. We have good running backs. I'm with Dash. Make the defense our focus in the draft. That's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at, Uncle G-Man. I might have tunnel vision. I just know, and I said this yesterday. Outside of like people dropping the ball, Slayton dropping the ball, Theo Johnson dropping the ball, outside of those plays that are just head scratches that piss you off, what made you the most upset watching the New York Giants play last year? It was the defense not being able to make a play when it's needed. I can't remember one. Like I said, outside of Theo Johnson, Darius Slayton dropping the ball, because those two are the outside of those two, and then some offensive linemen with some holding, legal man downfield. That might be I'm getting off track, but a legal man downfield might be the one penalty that pisses me off more than anything. I'm gonna leave that alone though for now. But defense is the focus, man, and that's what made me the most upset last year. If I was throwing my hat, if I stood up off my couch and yelled at the TV, it was mainly because the defense didn't do what they were supposed to do. Just think about it, man. Just think about it. That Denver game. That Denver game is such a sore spot, man, because remember the weeks going up to that Denver game and how much trash talking happened between the New York Giants fan base and the Denver Broncos fan base. When they were talking about what's his name, the edge rusher from the Denver Broncos being a sack leader, this, that, he's better than Brian Burns. Jackson Dart, they're going to snatch Jackson Dart's chain. Jackson Dart's dancing. We're going to stop him. Remember all that happened, right? And the way that we beat up the Denver Broncos for 3 quarters. For 3 quarters, we beat up the Denver Broncos. They had no answers for us. That 4th quarter collapse, man, that was probably one of the worst feelings I've ever felt as a New York Giants fan. And those just thinking about those things, those games, even the Dallas game, just thinking about those games, the Kansas City game, just thinking about those games is why I feel the way that I feel about going after defense in this draft. Why I want a defensive player so much in free agency. I don't want to feel that way anymore. Where we're sitting here going toe-to-toe with teams, beating teams, playing with the lead in a lot of these games, just to have how many 4th quarter collapses did we have last year? What was it, 7? 6, 7 of them? How many times we were in the 4th quarter and we actually had the lead and we lost those games? The Bears was another one. I think so. Just because we couldn't get the defense right, or the defense wasn't right. Dealer, now that's a point. That's absolutely the point. You have to look past this year to understand the love pick. I can't look past this year, man. And I would say the same thing about the defense too, because a lot of people say, well, Sonny Styles, he tackles high. That can be correct. First of all, the man's 6'5". How low do you expect this guy to tackle? How low do you expect him to get? And the last time I checked, he missed 1 tackle the entire season. And I know a lot of people got some pushback for that too. I'm talking about actual tackle attempts. He's only missed 1 tackle, and that was in the playoff game. 1 tackle the entire year, just like Carnell Tate only had 1 drop the entire season for Ohio State. I just think he's going to be better. I think that's going to be a pick for the future. But just think about it. Love would be a pick for the future. You're absolutely right. I think Styles, Downs. I think when you're drafting a lot of these guys, I think all of them are picks for the future. For me, Love, again, talent through the roof. But I get deja vu, and I call it deja blue. We're gonna jump. We're gonna talk about Jeremiah Love, man, for a moment. Yankees win. Shout out to the Yankees. That's a good point too, D Knows. Shout out to BBI. They were saying the same thing. They said, you think there's enough touches to go around with 2 1,000-yard runners plus Dart? No. If you add another running back to the mix, no, there's not enough touches to go around. Absolutely not. Like Devin Singletary. Well, first off, let me address Cam Scatterbull, Tyrone Tracy. Productive years for both of those guys, and we didn't even get a full season out of either one of those guys. Tracy missed a couple of games. We lost Scatterbull for season ended early. Devin Singletary did a pretty good job stepping up, but these guys were productive. You add another running back to the mix, it might be another guy making plays, but you lose the production from everybody else. But maybe things cancel each other out. But I'm just saying, for me, it's about the defense. I don't want to compare Love. I don't want to get into the conversation where I'm comparing Jeremiah Love to Cam Scatterbo or Tyrone Tracy, because if we're just doing that, then it's not even close. It's Love all day. But you guys saw the video I put out. I do believe that Cam Scatterbo is the heart and soul of the team. As ridiculous as it sounds. As ridiculous as it sounds. That's going to be a question for you guys. That's going to be the question for you guys. In your opinion, whoever wants to participate, in your opinion, who was the heart and soul of the New York Giants in 2025? Or if you don't think we didn't have a heart and soul of the team at all, go ahead and put that too. But who do you guys think was the heart and soul of the New York Giants in 2025? I'll give you some time to answer. Just curious, going off track a little bit, but just curious, taking the temperature in the room. We'll see what happens. Shout out to the UFL too, man. First 4-point field goal kick today. Maybe you see that happen happen in the NFL in like 2 seasons. Any kick over 60 yards is worth 4 points instead of 3. That's what they're doing in the UFL right now. And we saw the first one get made today. Might have been yesterday, but the UFL did it. All right, let's see. All right, where we at? So, Justin Moore says Dart was the heart and soul. Kelvin says 44. Side Guy Bride says Burns. Lau said Scat. Xavier Anderson, shout out to my man Xavier Anderson in the building. He says Cam. Bookend Tackle says Scat. Thunder, I'm putting your foot to the fire. You can only pick one. He says Dart and Cam. Raw Beans says Scat. Scat was a little bro with the energy that was infectious. That's one of my main points there. And he didn't just his energy just didn't infect the offense. It infected the defense as well. Our name says he is. Burns had a solid. I'm not asking who had a solid year. I'm not asking. I'm saying the heart and soul of the team. Who was that guy that was firing people up? Dart did it too. But we even saw Dart's energy change a little bit when Scat went on the field. But don't let me influence anybody. I want to see what y'all say. Dynamic duo. That's a fact. A Dad's Life said 100% Scat can't draft Love because that'll ruin the momentum. That's what I'm on. That's the same thing I'm on. But again, I have to take a step back myself. Echo, did I Echo? I said something crazy. I said something crazy. Echo, what's going on? How you doing? Shout out to my man Echo. We were going back and forth yesterday. Echo, shout out to him. He was tuned into my man G Nation. But Dad's Life says 100% Scat can't draft Love because he'll ruin the momentum. That's one of the main points that I made, and I put out a clip from one of the other lives that I did. And one thing about running backs, some running backs are just straight up home run hitters. Like Saquon Barkley is, right off the bat, boom, he could take one to the house. We've seen it. Whether he was playing for the Giants or against the Giants, we've seen Saquon. And other running backs are volume. The more they get the ball, the better they get. Production they get. And Cam Scatterbo is one of those guys where the more he gets the ball, the better he gets. So when it comes to drafting Love, automatically if you draft Love at 5, he becomes the bell cow. It's not an earth, wind, and fire situation. It's a main back, and then you got your rotational guys behind him. Because I saw some people say, oh, earth, wind, and fire, if you add, no, it'd just be, what do you consider Love? Fire, I'm assuming? Because Scat would be earth, I guess. But the whole point is it doesn't become earth, wind, and fire, because when it was earth, wind, and fire, those guys it was a true rotation. Whoever had the hot hand was getting the ball. Yes, it was Brandon Jacobs to start off, but Ahmad Bradshaw was right there. And then when that year we had Ward, it was Ward too. So we had that, that 3-headed monster in the backfield, and we had our earth, wind, and fire. If we draft Love, I can't consider that earth, wind, and fire 2.0. I consider that Love being, the main back, and then the rest of those guys get whatever is left. And I think to my man's point, Dad's life is kind of ruined the momentum. But I could be absolutely wrong. But we'll see what happens. Shout out to my man Ant in the building. What's going on, Ant? I see a lot of people still saying scat plus Dart. Together was a heartbeat, but once scat went down, the whole vibe changed. Dart tried his best too. It wasn't from a lack of trying. Dart was trying his best, and he at points he put the Giants on his back. And you want a franchise quarterback to do that. But the energy was absolutely different. You know, they lost something when they lost scat. And I want to get right back to that. You know what I mean? He already said he's going to be healthy. About a month ago, he said he was a month out from, starting to run 100%. So hopefully now he might be running around. I was looking at him at the pro day, though. I couldn't gauge the way he was walking. And I didn't like that. I couldn't tell if he's still walking with a limp or not. But again, the way that he's healing and the way that he's progressing is fantastic news for me. We need scat back for sure. No pun intended for that. Scat back is crazy. All right. Dealer says, responding to Justin Moore. Oh, I had a little bit of beef and said, man, look, I'm taking the elite prospect in love over any player in this draft all day long. I know what we're getting it in with him. Everything else is a question mark. Deja blue. Kelvin Davis says, nah, you're right, Dash. The whole team played different when Scat got hurt. It wasn't even from a lack of trying. It was just a different energy. And I'll say this too, man. Did anybody else notice Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary? They ran harder. Pause. They saw the way that Scat was running, and that made them step up their game and be more physical. Tyrone Tracy fighting for extra yards. Devin Singletary fighting for extra yards. When these guys normally get out of bounds. Maybe not so much Tracy. But Cam Scatterbull made other running backs want to play harder. He made other players want to play harder. And give me more of that. I need 2 or 3 more Scatterbulls on this team in different positions. I think Caleb Downs can absolutely had that same type of impact on the defense. I don't know how vocal Sonny Styles is, but I think his play, speaks for itself. And then I love Lee Hunter. Lee Hunter is a talker too. As a defensive tackle, we need that. I think we need that. The funny thing is that, him and Dexter Lawrence are more of the funny type than the mean type. And maybe we just need a mean defensive lineman. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into that, though. Master of Coin says, Dads, would you take a flyer on Drew Aller if he's No, I'm not. Even last year when Drew Aller probably would have got drafted higher. He should have, if he would have came out, he probably would have got drafted higher than where he's going to get drafted now. Usually you see a late push for certain quarterbacks getting pushed up in the draft. We saw it last year with Dart. I don't know about that with Drew Aller. He got hurt, missed a lot of the season, and then now he looks good. He was throwing at the combine, looked good. I didn't watch the Penn State Pro Day, so I don't know how he looked at the Penn State Pro Day. Did I watch the Penn State Pro Day? I don't even know that. I don't know if the Penn State Pro Day. I didn't watch the Penn State Pro Day if it did happen, and if it didn't happen, then good. I'll be able to watch it. But Drew Aller, big arm. As far as he can make the throws. Some boneheaded plays at times. Not that athletic, but he can scramble for a first down. Big body quarterback though. He's a prototype when it comes to size though. But I don't know if I would. I don't know if I take, because we don't have a 7th round pick anyway. I don't know if I take one, and I don't think he makes it to the 6th round anyway. I think Drew Aller goes day 2. If we're going to be honest, there's going to be a quarterback needy team that has maybe a older quarterback on a roster that's probably on the way out, or they're unsure. And I could see Drew Aller going to the Pittsburgh Steelers day 2. I could see that happening. I definitely don't think he makes it to the 6th or 7th round. I don't think that happens. So I definitely don't think the Giants got a chance. Just with that being said. Q Burrows says we need Iowani. That's the guard from Penn State. Let's get tough in the trenches. Here's my question, Q Burrow. Are you high enough on Ioane that you'll take him at 5, or are we talking about a trade back scenario? Because if we talk about a trade back scenario, then he's absolutely on my list. That's somebody that came out of nowhere, won me over, and I would love to see him as a New York Giant. He plays left guard, and to me, if we were to draft Ioane, I'm telling John Runyon, you can go to the right side. I'm putting Ioane next to Andrew Thomas, and that left side is going to be dominant for years to come. John Runyon, lucky he ain't have to come off that money yet. He's lucky. $9 million, they lucky they didn't make him come up off that money or restructure him. But if we draft somebody like Ioane, Runyon's getting shifted to the right side, in my opinion. He wanted to play the right side when he got here anyway. But Ioane, I would take Ioane in a heartbeat. All right, shout out to my man Phil. What's going on, Phil, with the $5 super chat? It says, Dash, just getting in from my son's track meet in Mesa. What did I miss? Who we drafting? You know what it is, Phil. You know what it is, Phil. We come on. It's Sonny Styles for me all day. I'm not going to change. I can't see myself changing. Now, there's some other players that I would accept at 5. But you already know that, Phil. Phil, you know what's good. Shout out to your son and his track meet. Hopefully he did well. Hopefully he did well. Well, Matt. Dealer, man. I'll let you know right now. And I appreciate everything. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win this discussion in the chat. I don't know if you care about winning the discussion in the chat. It's just at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But now I saw that Scat at 4.1 yards per carry is nothing more than AJ Dillon. I love his heart, but I don't see it getting much better with him. The good thing it's not all on him. Again, he's not a bell cow. He's not a workhorse. He's just number one when it comes to a running back rotation. So I don't know. AJ Dillon is wild though. AJ, you can substitute AJ Dillon and put a lot of names in there where running backs started off their career with a certain yards per carry, and then they start declining. That a lot of people. You can go a lot of people with that, but let me tell you, you're surgical, dealer. You are surgical when it comes to making points, and AJ Dillon drives that home too. So that's perfect for getting your point across. Absolutely. Surgical. I understand why you did it and why you said it. Off Broadway says Aller is so cheeks. He needs some help, man. But somebody's going to say, they can work with him. I don't want to call him a big dummy, but we seen another big dummy become the MVP last year. Just got to have the right coaching, or you just got to be super talented when it comes to being able to throw the ball. But also, Drew Aller don't got the legs that Josh has. So I don't know. A lot of people say they try to draw that comparison, Drew Aller to Josh Allen. It's nowhere near the same. You can say, it's a big arm, but Josh Allen's out there shaking people, breaking tackles, making moves, taking the ball downfield, rushing for first downs. I don't see that with Drew Aller at all. Just a big arm. Sometimes there's lazy comparisons for some people. And every quarterback with a big arm is not Josh Allen. What's the guy that the Broncos took? Cutler. He could be more Jay Cutler than Josh Allen, if we're being honest. And we already know Jay Cutler had one of the best arms we ever seen in our lives. And what good was it? What Cutler? Cutler was what? Vanderbilt? Cutler came out of Vanderbilt, right? I think so. His arm was amazing. Didn't help the Bears. Didn't help the Broncos. As far as getting them over the hump, I should say. Is it Chris Terrell? Chris Terrell says, yes, sir. Sonny Styles, my pick too. Shout out to Chris Terrell. Nick Sapp? Nick Sapp 4234 says, take Ruben Bain at 5, deal Kayvon for a second or third. You're not getting a second for Kayvon. I'm sorry. That's not happening. If you can get a second for Kayvon, even I'm trading him right away. And that dismisses everything I said about a half an hour ago. if I can get a second-round pick for Kayvon. You're not getting a second-round pick. You're barely getting a third-round pick for Kayvon. Fourth round is probably going to be the sweet spot just because of how much money he's making. And then also, he's a rotational edge rusher. He's not a guaranteed starter, depending on what team it is. There's some teams he could start for, but the way that they're looking at him for $14 million, he better be a damn starter for $14 million. And I don't know if everybody believes that Kayvon Thibodeaux was a starter on their team. Depends on the roster. But second rounder is out of the picture for me. Third rounder, we'll be lucky to get a third rounder. Fourth rounder seems about right. And at that point, I want a third round. And if I can't get a third rounder for Kayvon, I'd rather keep him. Thunder says defense needs help those styles all day. We're only even entertaining offense only if it's styles downs and Reese are going. No, listen, if you're going to take anybody on the offensive side, it's probably at 5. It's probably going to be Love. It's not going to be any of the wide receivers anymore. How do you guys still feel about Tate? I know. Do you guys think Tate is? You guys would be happy with Tate at 5? Does he answer that question for you? I don't know. And I was high on Tate too, but then again, paralysis by analysis is a wide receiver 2 somebody you take at 5. We took Malik Neighbors at 6. So we're going to take a wide receiver 2 at 5? Unless you feel like he's a wide receiver 1A, which I don't think he is. But he could put up numbers, though. He could put up numbers. And I'd rather have him than not have him if we're talking about just a wide receiver room. But I'm not at the expense of some of these other guys on the defensive side. Not over Styles, not over Delane, not over Downs. No. For me. Hold on. So, and I do apologize. Shout out to everybody showing love and support in the chat, man. Shout out to the over 150 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. I haven't got a chance to check the likes. Shout out to the Facebook crowd too in here too. Thank you for the love and support, man. We vibing. But make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're a New York Giants fan, what are you doing? Make sure you hit the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Boy, y'all got Deal in here fighting in the chat. I like it. Still sharp and still. Dino says Jay Cutler was the nonchalant. Yeah, he ain't nothing bothered Jay. Ain't nothing bothered Jay at all, man. Energy was crazy, man. I don't know, man. Cutler was talented too, as far as arm talent goes. Had a cannon strapped to his shoulder. That's a fact. Big Rock says Tate has one drop all. Yep, one drop all season. Mr. No Drops. Yeah, no, Mr. No Drops. You're absolutely right. 6'3" was sticking. It takes more than that, though, man. You know how many 6'3" wide receivers in this draft? Ted Hurst is 6'3". Malachi Fields, 6'4". Malachi Fields got a little bit of the drops. But Ted Hurst is solid. McAllister, 6'3". Jacoby Lane, 6'3" plus. You just can listen. I know a lot of, like, again, you want to treat the wide receiver room like a basketball team. Everybody got their role. You got your big X wide receiver. You got your shorter slot receiver. You got your people all in between. I get it. And again, Tate is nice. But everybody's saying the same thing. And shout out to a Penn State representative showing love to an Ohio State player. I see your profile picture, Penn State. I'm not mad at it. But nobody views Tate as a wide receiver 1. And if you do, let me know. And if you don't see him as a wide receiver 1, and I don't mean a wide receiver 1 for the Giants just because we got neighbors. I'm saying if you put Tate on certain teams, just go down the line. Is he a wide receiver 1 on the majority of those teams? And if you're sitting here questioning it, then you already know. And then do you take a wide receiver 2 at 5? I don't know if you can do that. But hey, you know what? The Commanders might take him, but he wouldn't be a wide receiver one for the Commanders either. I'm not mad at these players getting picked. I'm just saying, for me, a lot of people got to be off the board before I take Tate at 5. You telling me there's no Styles, no Delane, no Downs, and then you took Tate, no Maui Noah, and then you took Tate. Then it's like, okay. Giant Yankee says, what happened to Kayvon for Brian Thomas? Supposedly that was the Jaguars were never even entertaining any kind of trade talks for Brian Thomas, is what they said, even though a lot of people will tell you something different. I didn't miss any super chats. Did I? Nope. Okay, I'm good. I wouldn't say that now. It says Tate is a second round talent. This draft is tricky because obviously the first round is 32 picks in the first round, of course. And then you see a lot of analysts, top analysts, say that there's only like 12, 14 players with first round grades. And then they got somebody like Daniel Jeremiah saying, I got 12 to 14 guys with first round grades, but I got 40 guys with second round grades. So you're getting some of these guys that are second round graded prospects are going to get drafted in the first round anyway. It's tricky. So even if he was a second round talent or had a second round grade, because of the lack of wide receivers that fit into his tier, he's still one of the top tier wide receivers in his draft class. He's going to get drafted in the first round, even though he might have a second grade to some people. But I think he's in a lot of people's top 15 though. Tate is, and when you're in the top 15, you're going to go in the first round most likely. Real Cold G, what's going on? He says, Sonny Styles all day for me. The workout warrior part concerns me a little, but his tape shows me he can play. You know what's crazy about that is that a lot of people liked Sonny Styles before the combine. And I've never seen, I've seen the opposite. I've seen somebody have not so good tape, go to the combine, blow up the combine, and they're like, yeah, this guy's moving up on the boards. Sonny Styles has good tape, blew up the combine, and then everybody's saying, well, it's the underwear Olympics. Like, what are we talking about? Is it just because he's Sonny Styles? Because before we knew Sonny Styles had a 44-inch vertical and ran that 4.47 40, before we knew all that, we were saying, hey, this is a good player. One of the best off-ball linebackers coming into the draft. Before we saw the combine, then all of a sudden everybody's like, well, no, he's too athletic. What? What? I don't know. And the way people are talking, like, somebody made a great point, and I'm jumping around to it. Somebody made a great point, and they were talking about Mansour Delane, and they were saying, Mansour Delane, top cornerback in this draft, but you still got people, and this was a Giants fan talking about other Giants fans, right? Saying that some people don't want Delane or won't take Delane at 5, but they'll trade back and take him at 10. But his range of getting drafted is between 5 and 10 anyway. So why wouldn't you just take him at 5? Because if you trade back to 10, there's a chance that he won't get there. So if you'll take somebody at 10, you could, honestly, especially in this draft where there's not a lot of blue chippers, especially in this draft, if you could take Mansour Delane at 10, if you could take Caleb Downs at 10, then you probably could take him at 5. That's not like, we're not talking about jumping from 20 to 5. We're talking about jumping from 10 to 5. I got sidetracked. We get back on point. Let me get some more of these comments. Chris says Odell wasn't the wide receiver one at LSU. No, it was Landry. It was Landry. But Odell Beckham still gets. But again, when we talk about wide receiver roles in college, and we talk about traits and this, that, and for example, they came out in the same draft. Odell, Jarvis Landry came out in the same draft. The consensus was Odell Beckham, even though he wasn't the wide receiver one as far as stats go at LSU, and I got to check the Carfax on that. Both of those guys coming out the same year. People clearly thought Odell Beckham was better than Jarvis Landry. We saw what happened. So in order to make this the same situation, that means Jeremiah, what's his name? Jeremiah. Damn, I can't remember his last name now. The wide receiver from freaking Ohio State, number one wide receiver. Jeremiah Carnell Tate come out. Jeremiah Smith. So Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate come out at the same time. Who goes first? Jeremiah Smith all day. That's the only way you can kind of make it the same, is if they both came out at the same time. For that Odell Beckham being wasn't wide receiver one in LSU talk. Yeah. Shout out to my man Chris Atwater, though. Again, nobody's saying that he's not a dog. You said Tate is a wide receiver one. Let's talk about it. If the Jets took Tate, is he wide receiver one? Over Garrett Wilson? I do. If the Cardinals took him, is he wide receiver one over Junior? Marvin Harrison Jr.? Now he might be better than Marvin Harrison, because Marvin Harrison ain't living up to the name right now. Who else? If the Commanders take him, it's still Terry. It's still Scary Terry at wide receiver one. If the Giants took him, it's still Neighbors at wide receiver one. Who else we got? He'll be wide receiver one for the Browns. That's for sure. He'll be wide receiver one for the Browns. I don't think he's wide receiver one for the Saints. He'll definitely be wide receiver one for the Dolphins. So there's teams that he can be wide receiver one for. I'm just talking about consistency, because when it was Malik Neighbors, as soon as Malik Neighbors lands on any team outside of maybe the Bengals with Jamar Chase or the Vikings, with Jettas, Malik Neighbors is wide receiver one, no matter where he touches down. Somebody else tell me something different. Even if he went to the Rams with Puka, I believe Neighbors is a number one over Puka. And Puka's fantastic and a 5th round pick. I like the discussion, though, Chris. I appreciate you. My man Will's in the building. He says, unless it's O-line, I don't want to see an offensive player till late round 3, which we ain't going to never see because we don't got a third rounder. He says there are guys like Lance and such that will be there and fill that role much cheaper. Linebacker, O-line, DT, and DB are bigger needs. I'm with you, man. It's all about the defense for me this year. All about the defense. All about the defense. Is it Taya Cut Kelvin? He says, I think Styles goes 4, and because of that, Love goes to us, Downs to 7. Think that's possible because I think that's how it's going. It could go that way. I've seen mock drafts go the same way. I actually did a mock draft myself where it went that way. I did a mock draft. Mendoza with the Raiders. I had Arvell Reese go to the Jets. I had the Cardinals actually take Jeremiah Love. I had the Titans take Sonny Styles, because I can see that happening. When you look at the Cardinals have to find some way to put butts in seats. And when you look at that roster, ain't nobody putting butts in seats down there. Jacoby Brissett is a quarterback. Marvin Harrison, the wide receiver. They're already down on Marvin Harrison a bit. But if you add Jeremiah Love, people go to those games anyway. Cardinals get a lot of Cardinals fans are faithful. For sure. They show up to games. It's a good environment too. The dome is all that. That's nice. But that's how I had it. But to your point, Kelvin, it could go down that way. It could go down that way where Styles is not on the board, but Love is. But again, if Love is on the board and Downs is on the board, I'm taking Downs over Love. I just think defensively, I just need that type of player. I need that type of player. Mansell Delane for sure. I think Mansell Delane is CB1 if we take him. Echo says healthy Tyson over Tate. Keyword in that is what? Healthy. Tyson healthy is the best wide receiver in this draft. I think the most explosive wide receiver in this draft is Mekhi Lemon, but he's a slot guy. But Tyson, best wide receiver in the draft. He can't stay healthy though. And you even had to say it when you put it up here. You said healthy Tyson. There we go. Neighbors, Harrison, Adunze, Thomas. Okay. That's what it was. Tyson will drop because of the medicals. Yep. Teams won't trust him. There's a chance that Tyson falls out of the first round, man. Like, really. Over hamstrings. And we know how hamstrings are. But he can drop out of the first round because of the hamstring. Not because of the shoulder. You figure he's 2 years removed from the ACL. Because of his hamstring. I don't know. Can we say what about Love? Big Brock. Can we say what? I missed the conversation. I'm not following. Let me know. Thunder says, if the other three are gone, I'll take him at 5. I mean, I hear you. Dealer says, I just hate these safeties that convert to linebacker. You can't even really hit as a safety anymore because of the rules, and I'm supposed to believe you can be a dominant linebacker. All I got to say is this. Some people say he doesn't have enough pop. Okay, he's not that physical downhill. He's a will linebacker, in my opinion. He's not a Mike. He's not even a Sam. He's a will linebacker. Run and chase, make the plays. And that's what he did. We could talk about him tackling high, but he got the man down. Can he make the tackle? How many times have we seen Bobby Okereke just not be where he needs to be or flat out miss? Not be there. And I just think talent-wise, he finds the ball. He can get there, and he can bring the guy down. Will I love him to be able to decleat people? Absolutely. He might never get there. I don't know. But we went and got Edmonds. Edmonds is more a downhill linebacker. He fits that role for me. Sonny Styles is the will linebacker. He's running free to make plays. That's how it would be. I tell you this one. I did not like the comment that he made about being similar to Hamilton in Baltimore. That type of role. No, I want you as an off-ball linebacker. I understand we can get creative with you because of your athletic ability. I don't want to do that. I want you at the second level. I want you responsible for the run and possibly covering somebody out of the backfield, maybe in a zone drop, making sure you're in the right spot to possibly intercept a couple balls for the tight end. But that's it. I don't want to see you as just this creative piece because I don't like that. It's too much into the weeds for me. But again, I'm just a guy on Twitter. I'm just a guy on Twitter talking about the team he loves the most. Luann says, I like Delane. Now, Delane is nice. Delane is nice. The best thing he did was go from Virginia Tech to LSU. He could have came out last year at Virginia Tech. He probably would have been a second rounder last year. He didn't. Some of these guys make the right decision going back to school and hitting that transfer portal. He hit that transfer portal, went to LSU. He became the top cornerback prospect in 2026. And look at him now. He's going to make a lot more money this year than he would have made last year. And then he ended up getting paid at LSU anyway, too. So got a little bit of money on the side by going back. Nick Sapp says, I've heard that there's only 10 to 12 players in the draft with the first round grade. Yep. And only 2 or 3 of those guys are considered blue chip. Yep. So the ideas of moving back doesn't make sense to me. See, that's where I got to give you a little bit of pushback, right? A little bit of pushback. Again, there are always solid players that don't get the label of a blue chipper. Some of the best players in the league right now weren't considered blue chippers. A lot of these guys were drafted in day 2, day 3 in some cases. Puka Nacua drafted in day 3, 5th round for the Rams. Arguably, stat-wise, best wide receiver in the league. We really don't believe that, but as far as stats go, that's what it's saying. So you don't necessarily have to be a blue chipper. So when I think about, to your point, moving back, I'm thinking about the type of players that are going to be there. You don't need a whole team full of blue chippers. I'm not saying that you're saying that, but moving back, adding an additional draft pick, and still being able to be high enough to get somebody at 10 or 10 to 15, I think it's worth it. Because just think about this, right? You trade back to 10 with whoever's at 10 right now. I can't remember. You lose out on Styles. You lose out on Love. You lose out on Reese. You lose out on a lot of these guys, but you pick up an additional second-round pick. So if you miss out on Styles, but you got an additional second-round pick, that second-round pick could be a linebacker named Jake Golday. It could be a Jacob Rodriguez. It could be an Anthony Hill, because now you got somebody you got that additional second-round pick where there's value. So there's value to that. So now you're getting, instead of just having pick 5, pick 37, and then having to wait all the way to 105, there's, you got additional picks. Like if we had, like last year, we had 5 picks in the top 100. If we had 5 picks in the top 100, nobody's talking about trading Tibbs. Nobody's doing all this stuff because there's value in that third round. There's value in that day 2. So it's all about that, man. It ain't just about blue chippers. Again, not saying that's what you're saying. Just want to elaborate a little bit. Tyan with the $5 super chat says, Giants fam, y'all want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Pause. We should take Styles at 5 and Rodriguez at 36. We've been linebacker deprived for too long, brother. You said it though. You want to get crazy? You went crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Double dipping at linebacker, off-ball linebacker. That's wild, man. That's wild, man. Oh, man. I can't do that. We can't do that. That would be a fan. Well, both of those guys are like will linebackers to me. Rodriguez is a good blitzer. You can blitz the A-gap. He can blitz off the edge. He could punch the hell out of the ball. Got the peanut Tillman punch. A lot of turnovers, a lot of strips. A lot of forced fumbles. I like Jacob Rodriguez a lot. Probably just it's one of the highest floors for linebackers in this draft. He might have the highest floor out of all the linebackers in this draft, if we're being honest. But who's really the downhill guy? Who's the run stuffer in this scenario? Jacob Rodriguez, what, about 230? I don't know. That's wild though. You said let's get nuts. You went crazy. Pause. Dealer said Harold Fannin probably out targeting him. Now you right about that. Harold Fannin is nice, and he was what round was he drafted in? Was he 3rd round, 4th rounder, Fannin, or was he even later in the draft than that? But they wouldn't got Bond from Texas because Bond was having legal issues, so he ended up being a steal, or it was some court thing going on with Bond, and he fell. They got Jerry Jeudy. Imagine that too. Remember a year ago, we were willing to trade like a 2nd rounder for Jerry Jeudy. Well, some people wanted to trade the 2nd rounder for Jerry Jeudy. What a difference a year makes. But now Harold Fannin is he's going to be a player, man. Speaking of that, did anybody pick up Njoku? Did Njoku get signed by anybody? Is he still out there free? I mean, I think right now we're fine at tight end. I'm just saying. I'm just curious. I don't know where David Njoku went. But Harold Fannin said, he's the captain now when it comes to the tight end in Cleveland. Real Cold G says, how do you feel about Denzel Boston? I like Denzel Boston, I guess, a lot more than other people. I think he's a 2nd rounder. I think he fell a little bit. But also I could see him going at the end of the 1st round too. I think I saw a mock draft where they had Seattle taking him. That would be cool because he played for Washington, then he goes to Seattle, ain't got to go far. So that'd be cool for him to do that. But I think I like Denzel Boston. The size, weight, speed, red zone threat. Sneaky, not even sneaky athletic. Comes from football stock. His dad is Dave Boston. Remember him as the ex-NFL player / bodybuilder. Got his hand slapped for steroids. But yeah, no, I like Denzel Boston. Dealer says Puka. Nah, did you see what happened? Puka lawyer pretty much ate that up. So for those that don't know, there was an incident with Puka Nacua. It was a girl that said that he bit her and pressed charges. And then the lawyer put out a tape, and it was supposedly after the bite. The girl was at the club dancing, like having a fun time after the, alleged bite from Puka Nacua. But Puka Nacua can't be going around here biting people. He can't be going around here biting people. I'm sorry. And right now, this has not been a good offseason for Puka Nacua. He had the whole Aiden Ross incident where he had to, apologize for doing certain things. And then now he out here, accused of biting women. He got to stay in the house, Puka. Stay in the house. And then on the video, you see him passed out in the club. He looked like he was asleep in the club. It's not a good look. Stay in the house, Puka. Stay in the house. Stay in the house. Don't mess up the bag before you. Well, actually, did he get paid already? Did Puka get paid already? Anyway, don't mess up the bag, Puka. Relax. Get in the house. You already were complaining about how you, like, as a 5th-round pick in LA. Yeah, it might be a little bit hard to make that money stretch in LA like that, especially that kind of football lifestyle. But don't mess up your bag, Puka. All right, Cringy Grinchy got an idea for you. He says, here's what I would do. Is Downs or Styles, if Downs or Styles are gone, I'm going to try to trade back in the 1st round. Then I'll for sure trade back in the 2nd round. I wouldn't go offense until the 3rd round. What you taking though? You trade back to take who though? How far are you willing to trade back? I'll tell you this. I'm with the whole trading back from 37 too, depending on who's there. I remember I did a mock draft, and who was it? The kid from Clemson, defensive tackle from Clemson, was still there, and I traded back. People thought I was crazy, and I went back and thought about it. I said, yeah, I'm crazy. Shout out to my Nove 9 is in the building. For those that like a lot of people, and hopefully he's still in the building. He's still in the building 10 minutes ago. A lot of people love the intro of the live stream. They asked about the beat. My man Nove 9 is a person that made that beat. Also my brother-in-law. My brother's brother-in-law. My brother-in-law's brother. But yeah, shout out to Nove 9 in the building. Fantastic beat maker, content creator. Make sure you go follow my man Nove 9 over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. He out there making beats like crazy. Go holler at him. If you're an upcoming artist, make sure you holler at him. But it is what it is. Shout out to Nove 9 in the building. I'm glad you were able to catch the show. Delane is really locked down too. No, Delane is nice. Delane is nice. You know what's crazy? I saw some clips of Avion Terrell. Now he's a little bit undersized, cornerback from Clemson. Great feet. Good football IQ, just a little bit undersized. But Mansell Delane, I think, is just as nice and way more physical. Way more physical. Terrell is a willing tackler too, though. He's a willing tackler. Downs is better than Delane. 2 different positions, 2 different types of needs. I'll probably take Delane over Downs too now, for sure, just because of who we added to the safety room. But but yeah, Delane slowly has risen in the ranks for me. For sure. He was already on my radar. He was a person I would put in a trade back scenario, but I'm warming up to 5 if Mansell Delane is there. I wouldn't be mad if we took him at 5. It just depends on what John Harbaugh is looking for, what Denard Wilson is looking for. What's more important for them, and as far as value goes with the cornerbacks, there's some cornerback gems too throughout the draft, that might be available later on. But if Mansell Delane is the pick at 5, I'm not totally mad at that at all. If Styles is still there and we took Delane, I might be upset for a bit, but I understand. Because when we talk about value, I think stopping and run is above everything. That's why I like Styles over a lot of these guys, because I think he'll be able to help the run defense. But I'm not mad at Mansell Delane at all. At all. Coach just said he laughing, man. Back-to-back linebackers is crazy. Back-to-back linebackers is crazy. I do apologize. I'm going to the beginning, or I'm trying to get to the top of the chat. So if I missed your comment, I apologize. Luann says, Dash, if Styles or Downs are gone, who is next? We already know you like Tate, Luann. We know you like Carnell Tate. We know you want Carnell Tate. I understand. I know where you're going. You ain't gonna set me up. I already know where you're going. Our name says Styles, Edmonds, and Rodriguez. Yeah. I mean, it sounds good, but we can't go back-to-back linebackers though. Not when we need a defensive tackle and all this other stuff that's happening. There's even some cornerbacks in the second round that I'll take at 37. You got the kid from South Carolina, what's his name, Sasay, and then you got Hood that could possibly fall into the second round from Tennessee. You got Chris Johnson from San Diego State that could be there as well. I like him a lot. I was happy when he ran that 4.40 because a lot of people would, said that, the speed wasn't there possibly. They were concerned about his speed. He ran a 4.40, took those concerns away. Physical, good ball skills, played at I can't even say a small school, San Diego State, but lesser competition, but he's nice. Plays with a chip on his shoulder too. Also physical. I like him. Good zone, good man, Dealer says, man, so Delane better be champ. He better be champ. Why we gotta do that? Why can't he can't beat Stingley? He gotta be Champ Bailey or Darrell Reeves for us to take him at 5. Where did Stingley go? Stingley went what? 3 that year? I think Stingley, he can't be Stingley. He gotta be Champ Bailey or Darrell Reeves. He can't be Stingley. I was gonna say Sauce Gardner, but I don't even know who Sauce Gardner is anymore. I don't know who he is anymore. Yeah, and Davis, that's a fact. Puka was wilding. He needs to sit down somewhere. Caden McDonald at 37. I don't think he makes it to the second round. He's a nose tackle for sure. I don't think he makes it to the second round. I don't think he makes it past like the Chargers possibly, because they need some help on that defensive line. Yeah, but I don't think he makes it to the second round. Nick Sapp says Reese is the best player in the draft. He might have the highest ceiling in the draft, possibly. If he, the way they're projecting to be an edge rusher, he might end up being the best player in the draft. But I don't know. He's top 3 for sure. He's top 3 because of if he turns into what people think he can be on the edge, then absolutely. Sean Jackson, what's going on, Sean? He said, what up, Dash? My preference at 5, or if the Giants trade down within the top 10, is to draft a game-changing defensive player. Okay, got you. When was the last time all 3 main levels of New York Giants defense was top tier? It's been a long time. I like the way this defensive line was. We wasn't when we had Dex and Leonard Williams together. I liked McKinney and Love back there. Even with Adoree Jackson back there, I liked it, but still had issues with linebacker. Then who we had? Tate Crowder. We had Tate Crowder that year. I don't even know who played next to. I can't remember who played next to Tate Crowder that year. Was it McFadden that year? Who was it? Who was next to Tate Crowder in 2022? I can't even remember now. Dealer, help me out, Dealer, because you be knowing this stuff, man. Who was the linebacker with Tate Crowder in 2022? Starting linebacker. Prentice Grant says Keontae Scott in the second. I like Keontae Scott a lot. I just found out because I was watching. I just found out he's going to be 25 years old. And everything else makes sense now. Because I would watch Miami. I would watch Keontae Scott would jump off the screen. How physical he played. How tough he was. Just the overall size. He was out there like a man amongst boys. And then it makes sense to me now because the man is 24 years old. 24 years old, man. Because he was one of those gems. Like, yeah, I like him a lot. 24 years old. McFadden didn't start at the beginning of the season, though. Carter Coughlin? Was it Carter Coughlin? I don't think Blake Martinez. No, Blake Martinez. We got rid of Blake Martinez before we started that season. We got rid of Blake Martinez because Blake Martinez came in with Dave Gettleman. And then when the new regime came, I remember Blake Martinez, I think he was coming off an injury, whatever, but he didn't we cut Blake Martinez? Or did he retire, then unretire? He retired Blake Martinez retired to trade Pokemon cards. Fell out of love with the game and then decided to trade Pokemon cards as a profession. And then I heard, this is a rumor, he was out there scamming Pokemon cards. Go ahead and Google that for me. But he wasn't a tackle. Lorenzo Carter? Jalen Smith. There it is. That's who it was. Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith before McFadden. That's who it was. I was thinking, like, who the hell was a linebacker next to Tay Crowder? And I was trying to remember back. Yeah, it was a little bit of a rotation because I was a big fan of the kid from Cincinnati, man, when we drafted him. Then he ended up tearing his ACL. Darian Beavers. But I always liked McFadden too. And I wish McFadden was healthy, man. I don't know. I'm glad he got a 1-year prove-it deal. He gonna be playing like McFadden gonna be playing with his hair on fire when he gets a chance. And I like that. Just think about the first game of the season last year against the Commanders. He was the only one out there making plays, really. And then he got hurt, and then we never saw him again. All right, let's see. Hold on, where'd he go? Shout out to my man Jessa in the building. He said he did come off injury and Eli jerseys hanging verse 18. Who you talking about? Former Cowboy. That's for sure. Jalen Smith. He was nice in college too at Notre Dame. Then he tore his knee up. Nasty. And he never quite got back to what he was in college, but he was nice at Notre Dame. The funny thing about Jalen Smith, he always found a pile to jump on. If you guys will watch, like, it'd be a group tackle. He just come out of nowhere and just jump on the pile like he did something. That was Jalen Smith. He would do that all the time and be celebrating with everybody else. Is it Dylan or is it Dylon? Let me know for sure. He says, wide receiver, running back, and edge all have much higher miss rates than cornerback. LOL, Dealer. Listen, Dealer, like I said, Dealer's been active today. Shout out to my man Dealer. Again, if you're not subscribed to my man Dealer, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. He don't hold any punches. He serves it to people straight. The alcohol burns sometimes too. It is what it is. No chasers. Shout out to my man Dealer. I was a big fan of Darian Beavers, man. He was like Clint sent him. That's highly disrespectful. That Clint sent him pick was Clint sent him looked like the prototypical. Well, he was out of Virginia. Clinton sent him. For those that don't know, we talk about a draft that might have been like 2008. No, what year was that when we drafted Clinton Senum? That's probably one of the worst draft classes we had. I think that might have been the same year as Adrian Robertson, the JPP of tight ends. Clinton sent him, but he looked like a linebacker, like how he carved out a freaking stone. Wasn't any good. He was also a 4-3, no, a 3. He was a 3-4 linebacker, and when we put him in a 4-3 system, and it just didn't pan out for him. But anyway, that's a little history lesson. But Radiant, what you doing? He said the cops just drove by me. Yikes. Brother, put the phone down. 10-2. Put the phone down. 10-2. And relax. They just rolled past you. At least they drove past you. If you're doing this, to me, it sounds like you might not be doing something you're supposed to be doing. That's why you said yikes. Thank the good Lord that they didn't, stop. Take that as a lesson. Get your ass in the house. That's your sign to get in the house. Get in the house. Lord gave you a blessing. They roll right past you. Take your ass home. Respectfully. 2009. Okay. Anthony Cherry says Big Dash, they took him off the line because he couldn't get on the field, but he was a pass rusher. Okay. Shout out to my man Wales in the building. What's going on, Wales? Hey, are you doing a leather to the face? Are you doing that? Tonight for the Fandora fight? Let me know. He says, Dash, do you think Harbaugh's gonna go with the best player available? No, I don't. I don't think so. I can't say that with any certainty, but I don't think so. I really don't know Harbaugh like that. We'll find out more about Harbaugh in this draft. He says, and if Love is there, would you be mad if we? Wells, you already know how I feel about. Mad is a strong word. I'd be disappointed. I would be disappointed, and I would be like, what are we doing at 37? That's how I feel about the whole thing. Like, Love is fantastic. Love will be a welcome addition to the running back room for sure. But as soon as we draft him, I'm like, okay, what are we doing at 37? I probably couldn't even enjoy it for long enough because I'm too worried about what we're going to do next and fixing this defense and how we could have had a chance to get somebody else that could have been, a part of this defense. I'll be disappointed, though. I missed the fight. Who won? Did Fandora win? Damn. What time is it? Yeah, that's right. Let me know who won the fight, Wells. Is it Eric? Shout out to Eric in the building. He says, Big Dash, we traded the 5th pick with Dallas for picks. We're cooking with grease. Says for picks 12 and 20. And exited the draft with Vega and Peter Woods. Would you make that deal? I will trade 5 for 12 and 20 in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. 12 and 20. And you're absolutely right. I am taking, I would take Vega. I don't know if I'm taking Peter Woods at 20, though. Because I will still have 37. And there's going to be some defensive tackles that should be there at 37. I might take the luxury of possibly looking at one of the cornerbacks that might fall, like a Jamad McCoy at 20. Who else might be there? You might have like a CJ Allen there at 20, linebacker from Georgia. I don't know if I take Peter Woods at 20. I'll just say that, but I'm making that deal all day. Shout out to my man Ant said, run up the thumbs up. That's a fact. We done hit the 2-hour mark. We done hit the 2-hour mark already, and we still vibing. We're gonna close this thing out in a bit, but we vibing, so we're gonna hang out for just a little bit longer. Dealer says, Dylan, who was the last first round corner that we didn't miss on? Oh boy. I'll just wait to hear your answers. Okay, now we all waiting for Dylan. I'm Lemon at 20. I don't think Lemon lasts to 20. I don't think Lemon makes it past like Miami possibly if Miami doesn't go offensive line. Have you seen Miami's roster? They blew it up. Miami's roster is trash. That wide receiver room, oh my God. Miami got to either go wide receiver or offensive line at I think they're at 11. Shout out to my man Gridiron Apex in the building. Again, when I opened up the show, I told you guys on Wednesday, kicking off the first day of the month, April 1st, April Fools. But we ain't making any jokes over here. We ain't playing any games over here. I have special guest Gridiron Apex on the Big Dash Draft Talk, episode 1 of Big Dash Draft Talk. As far as live streams go, we're going to be talking about the draft, talking about prospects. It's going to be a fantastic show. So make sure you guys tune in for that on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I believe Gridiron has their own show following that show. So make sure you guys follow my man, Gridiron Apex. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Sora over there at Gridiron Apex. But they will be live live and in the building on Wednesday, April 1st for Big Dash Draft Talk. Shout out to those guys, man. I appreciate you for joining too, man, and vibing for a moment. I know you're a busy person. You get and again, these guys really do their work. They're at the combine. They're at the senior bowls, all that. So they make their rounds, man. They really know what they're talking about. They make good content too, and they break down these college players. And also they take it all the way to the high school level as well, breaking down players. So man, you really got to be, in your craft when you're doing high school prospects, college prospects, pro prospects. Shout out to those guys. I'm happy they're able to join for the show too on Wednesday. Again, make sure you guys tune in for that. My man Mac in the building. Where Mac at? Mac, the Giant fan, is in the building. What's going on, Mac? All right, we got Will says to our name 180 isn't about size, it's about play style. Brooks was a coverage. Will, who can lay the run, or who could play the run. Urlacher was not really as good in coverage. Styles' game is more like Brooks. Then I would agree with that. Urlacher was a beast. Urlacher, just imagine Urlacher as a safety. What was Urlacher? 6'5", 250, almost 260. Him and the other dude with Chicago were a good linebacker duo. Dolphins are rich in capital. Dolphins got so much dead money, it's crazy. They just said, you know what, we're gonna just sacrifice the 2026 season, and then we're gonna get right in 2027. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Speaking of my man G Nation in the building. My man Big Lou in the building. What's going on, man? What's going on? Urlacher plays safety in New Mexico. Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Speaking of safeties that could possibly be linebackers, the kid from Texas Tech, Wisniewski. Not on a lot of people's radar. Big body safety. I think he's 6'4", 220 pounds. He can play. Maybe he gains 10 pounds and becomes a linebacker too at some point in time. But he'll be a value pick at in day 3. But we're not gonna give up too many goods, man. Gridiron. We're gonna save that for the Wednesday show, man, for sure, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. Lance Briggs is a guy that I was talking about with Urlacher for sure. I appreciate that. You guys are the best, man. When a lot of people talk about the live streams that they do, a lot of people talk about the chats that they have, man. And I'm dead serious. And shout out to the other New York Giants content creators in the building as well, showing love too. That's one thing that we getting better on as a Giants content creator community is showing love. At least a circle that I run with. Shout out to all those guys. You guys know who you are. But yeah. Much respect to all you guys, man. Will says Wisniewski is a Landon Collins style strong safety, would work well with Holland. I like Wisniewski a lot. He just makes plays, man. 6'4", 220-pound safety, just out there making plays. So Lou, yeah, shout out and Lou, I apologize for missing the leather to the face, man. I thought I was going to end early enough to actually do that, but you see what happened. We over 2 hours in. I was supposed to stop this show about 10 minutes ago, but we still vibing. And we're going to go for just a little bit longer, get through the chat. Make sure I got all these super chats about. Okay, here we go. Was it? My apologies, Prentice. I missed you. I missed the super chat, man. He says here with the shout out to Prentice with the $2 super chat. Says here Ty Simpson might go top 5. I did a mock draft with him in the top 5 too, and people threw virtual tomatoes at me, man. Charles Davis, I think, was probably the first person I saw that mocked Ty Simpson in the top 5. I think he had the Jets taking him. I had the Cardinals taking him in my mock draft. Nothing that I did a video for. But when I look at Arizona, again, the Cardinals, they got Jacoby Brissett. Nothing special. But if you get somebody like Ty Simpson, he didn't have. He was at Alabama for a long time, but he only got 1 season starting. And he has some raw talent. He has some ability. Was it Dan Orlovsky loves him? He thinks he's QB1. I don't know about that. But I think that Jacoby Brissett could possibly hold him off a little bit so he can develop with the Cardinals and then, possibly be somebody. Possibly be somebody. We don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I didn't look at Stribling yet. I know I said that. I didn't look at Stribling. After I hit the live, man, I went and got something to eat, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and the family played Monopoly, and I went to bed and went to church the next day. That's what happened. I do have it in my notes to look at the wide receiver Scribbling, and I promise you I will do that. Maybe I need a reminder. Hit me up on Twitter or X, whatever it is. Just hit me with a reminder. And I'm gonna check out Stribling because I got the what's the I got actually let me see. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna see. I gotta see if I got tape on Stribling. I got tape on Stribling. I do have tape on Stribling. What games do I have for Stribling? I got the Arkansas game from 2024 on Stribling. That's all I got in this library. So probably I'll check him out on YouTube first, see if I can get some more recent film. But the only thing I have is him in 2024 versus Arkansas that I have in this library this database that I'm looking at. Douglas Rice is hold on, let me get over there. Douglas Rice is as a freshman got to University of New Mexico and hooked up with the strength and conditioning coach. Oh, talking about Urlacher. As a freshman, got to New Mexico and hooked up with the strength and conditioning coach, and the rest was history. Now that's a fact. That's a fact. Will said, hold on, 3 out of 3 million people in America saw Grasso winning that fight. Oh, wow. G Nation was one of them. I'll go back and watch the live, man. I got to see the clips. So it wasn't a knockout. It went to a decision. It was a decision, I guess, huh? Brooks was a Tampa 2 middle linebacker covering deep center. Yep, he dropped there. Undersized compared to Styles or Styles or Urlacher. What was Derek Brooks was like 6'2", right? 6'2", about 225, 230. Yeah, I mean, for his time being that size, he was smaller. Nowadays, that's about right for linebackers. Now, Styles being 6'6", 6'5", almost 6'6", and 250 pounds. That's just freaky. Nasty KO. Okay. I'm gonna check it out on Twitter. I'm gonna go straight to the knockout. I'll check it out on Twitter when I get out of here. And we about to get out of here too, man. Again, I see everybody in the building. Again, shout out to everybody, man. I want to say this before I get out of here, man. And I really do mean this from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I appreciate the love and support. I appreciate everybody that vibes with me on Saturday night. Again, you guys could be doing anything. You could be out there clubbing, could be with your family. You might be with your family. I might be, but I appreciate the love and support that you guys show, man. It's truly appreciated. You guys have made this channel one of the fastest Giants content creating channels too. So I appreciate you guys for that too. I appreciate you guys for just listening to a fellow Giants fan ramble about his Giants during the season, during the off season, all the time, man. I appreciate the love and support, man. Salute to you guys for that. But we are going to get up out of here. Let's be Giants. What's going on? He said, what's up, Giants fan? What's going on? He said a jalapeno hook. That's he knocked him out with a jalapeno hook. That's crazy. 6 foot deep. Brooks was only 6 foot. Damn. Makes sense. Maybe I just thought he was bigger than that. Because 6 foot 236, that is, you're not small at 6 foot 236. That's damn near 240. Damn near 240. Yeah, we about shout out to Tyrone Hall. What's going on, man? If you was commenting all throughout the chat, I missed you and I apologize for that. Shout out to my man Tyrone Hall in the building. What fight are you talking about? Who got hit with the jalapeno hook? I'll find out. I will find out. But again, everybody, make sure you guys tap in on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Big Dash Draft Talk with the Gridiron Apex special guest there. I got some other people that sent some invites out to as well. We got 4 weeks into the draft. 4 weeks into the draft. Hopefully I can do every Wednesday, get you guys a new guest, for those big dash draft talks. And we can have us a good time, man, and talk prospects up until the time where, it's time for the real money to be made. But with that being said, let me check I'm all caught up. Okay, all caught up on the super chats. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's